You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. Every now and then, you get a chance to find out what someone is saying about you behind your back. I will have you know that I walked around the corner for physical therapy today.
Ooh.
I know, a big accomplishment.
How bad did that hurt?
It didn't really hurt, but I am once again making an inventory of who does and who does not shovel and who does and who does not salt their walk. And I did this even before I broke my leg, but the thing I have to tell you, the spousal unit, who's a nice guy, went out and shoveled our walk and the walk to the left and the walk to the right of us. And then the second house to the right is a very nice woman who's recently widowed and doesn't seem to really have her act together about shoveling and salting. And she's older than we are, so we did all that. And you may remember the house on the other side of our neighbor to the left.
Yeah.
You've heard about these people over the years.
Over and over and over the years.
This is the house owned by two vegan architects who designed, and I mention this because they designed a vegan restaurant around the corner that was terrible, that has since gone out of business. And when they first came, I was very excited because they bought the house. I believe it's called a hip pocket account. The realtor sold it just to them directly. The house never hit the market, which on the one hand, I'm kind of annoyed that she picked these people now, knowing what I know. And on the other hand, I'm kind of happy because the guy who was selling the house was a jerk and a drunk, and I'm kind of pleased that maybe he didn't get as much money as he could have gotten otherwise. Nevertheless, these people have been there for now, probably 5 years, and they're the ones, just to refresh our 5 listeners. Can't say that too fast. They're the ones who make strange choices about what to fix. Like they put in copper gutters and the house is peeling off in bits and chunks.
The house looks like it's falling down, but it has copper gutters.
Yeah, and leprosy. And they said that they would like to have they were hoping for their kids to move in. And you may recall that some 20-somethings moved in and we had to put the hammer down on them because they thought, hey, cool, free house from our parents. We'll use this for band practice. And that went on for about 2 nights. They are crazy people, though. There are rules about whose fence is whose. And the neighbor next door to us had a tree come down in a storm, and it was their fence. And they tried to say that he had to replace not just that fence, which wasn't his problem anyway, but their entire fence around their entire yard. They're nuts. And then for a while, they had this sort of, you remember when you would watch the Pink Panther movies or Home Alone, and they would rig some kind of torture for other people to trip over.
Like the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
You mean the bucket over the...
Yeah. For a while.
You open the door and the bucket of paint falls on your head.
Right. For a while, they did that with the part of the right-of-way between the sidewalk and the street. They used, God help us all that we didn't die, they used pieces of rebar and like coat hanger wire and strung that around that little patch so you couldn't see it. It's dark wire, it's dark rebar. You'd get out of your car and you'd take a step and whoop, you'd break your leg, you'd land on rebar. It was awful. And finally enough people got tired of it that somebody just pulled the whole thing out, and I think they got the hint. The woman is so crazy. One time I was waiting for someone to pull out of a parking space in front of the house. And I waited at that respectful behind the space distance. And then the person pulled out and I pulled up and backed into the space. And this woman comes at me screaming. She's halfway down the block and she says, I was waiting for that parking place. And she's just nuts, completely, entirely. She's never done a nice thing for anybody in the neighborhood. And the whole neighborhood is convinced that their property values are coming down. And probably they are. And on top of that, we're all getting lead poisoning from the leprosy pieces of skin, which is lead paint flying off their house in every big storm. Yeah, they do weird stuff. Like they rebuilt this back little miniature Juliet balcony when they have a giant yard. Nobody's ever been seen on this Juliet balcony, ever. ever. I mean, and I look because I'm nosy that way. So, okay, so the spousal unit is out there shoveling the little light snowfall, maybe an inch or two. We normally don't even do much when it's like that, but you may recall that his wife, I
Yeah.
recently had a broken leg. So he's being extra careful with snow and ice. And you could basically make a pretzel factory out of the salt on our front steps at this point. You could just roll any kind of dough in there and sell it. But he shovels, as mentioned, the four sidewalks, and he hears this disembodied voice saying, "Why are you stopping there?"
Oh, God.
And he
Was it Mr. or
he
Mrs.?
looks around. He's
Being an
looking.
architect.
He is looking around, and then he sees behind her screen door the woman who said that I stole her parking place when she was halfway past it down the block. And he says, "Because I've done 4 houses," and she says, "Well, I'd appreciate it if you'd do one more." Now,
Did he?
this is the thing, because you and I both know how kind and generous he is.
Yes.
If he had shoveled her walk, I might have divorced him, but he didn't, and I was very proud of him. I checked.
Good.
His spine is firm. Yes, because your husband and my husband. It's very hard for them to say no to somebody, especially women. I think I told you in the carpool, they had the hot chickie mama who wanted to borrow our car for the carpool because she only had a sports car. You remember this?
Yes.
She never put gas in
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And I finally had to say and the spousal unit couldn't bring himself to say, you want to drive our car, that's one thing, but you could put some gas in it once in a while. I had to say that. Oh, I never thought of that.
Hence, all of that is why we live at 7,000 feet elevation with no neighbors on either side of us.
Well, that is one good reason. That's the first.
I do not miss parking wars at all.
I think that is the first good reason you've given me, other than that it's very beautiful where you live. Very beautiful.
Similarly, though, I do a similar story. There's this one guy who lives about a mile down the road from us, and he's convinced that we're from California. I don't know. The only time I've ever been to,
You're blonde.
the only time I've ever been to California is when I visited you.
Yeah.
But yes, he tells everybody that we're hippies from California.
I know. It's the Grateful Dead flag. That's why he thinks you're.
Well, probably. That's probably part of it. But he owns like road fixing equipment.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it.
Road fixing equipment. That's what I call it.
Yeah, our roads up here are made of rocks and cinders.
So like a road grader, I think we would call it. Yeah.
Well, he grades the road all the way to the edge of our property
And stops.
and pulls up the thing, goes past us,
No.
and that grades from the cattle guard to the mailboxes. And I laugh every time he does that.
I hate to say this, but maybe if you would put up one of those big banners of a certain elected official,
Yeah.
he might grade your road for you. You got to decide what it's worth.
We could hang a California flag upside down or something.
No, it has to be a flag of the person that he probably is very fond of.
Well, here's what. Okay, here was our first meeting with this guy, okay?
Uh-huh.
He was helping somebody fix a house
Oh,
out here.
well, that's nice.
Well, not really.
Uh-oh.
Because when a little girl got lost, like this 4-year-old girl disappeared from her grandparents' house
Ooh.
from about 2 miles away from us. And so there was a huge search. And the sheriff's department asked us if we would search our road all the way around.
And you said,
And
sure.
check every yard and every
course.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So we searched for hours. We got to this building site, which is uncomfortably too close to us, and found that they had dug 40-foot trenches and were throwing asbestos and roofing material and all kinds of stuff into the ground.
Oh.
And my husband, who is very well known
In the building
in
and trades, yeah.
yes, in the trades up here, called his friend from the forestry, whatever you call him, forest and woods or whatever. And they came out,
The nature department.
the nature police. They called the nature police. They came out and it was not pretty. Then
Did they get a fine? Did they have to take it out? What'd they do?
big time. Yeah, they had to take it out and they got fined. They got
Good.
fined for a lot.
Good.
And then,
Of course,
so,
he knew who did it because this was before
well,
the era
yeah,
of
because
drones.
exactly. And so the environment police or whatever we
The
call
nature
them,
police.
nature police came by our house
Yeah. Ooh.
to say it's taken care of,
Ooh.
right?
Ooh.
And 10 minutes later, and this is like right after we moved out in here. We'd been here maybe 4 months.
Okay.
Right after the nature place left, here comes
Mr. Road Grader.
Mr. Grader, and he's got like a handlebar mustache, like you know, it's the whole Dudley Do Right,
Yeah.
bad guy stuff.
Right.
And he comes rushing over here on his 4-wheeler or all-terrain vehicle or whatever you want to call it, and says, "Why were the police at your house?" And I said, "They were just it was just a welfare check for my dog." I didn't know what to say.
You are so bad at lying.
I know,
You're
I know it.
so bad at lying.
I would be horrible at improv because yes, my mind works in really weird
A
ways.
welfare check for my dog?
Yeah.
Oh, God. The sound that you hear is me banging my head on the dresser. Here,
Wait,
on
it
the
gets
desk.
better.
Yeah.
This story gets better and
Oh,
better
God.
and better.
Oh, God.
So, okay, fast forward to like 3 years later. And do you remember my dog Einstein?
Yes, he was an idiot.
Yes, he was. Yeah, we jinxed him by naming him Einstein.
Yeah, I remember.
If we had named him Ernest or Vern, he probably would have won awards.
Or
for
Mr.
his-
Road Grader, you could have named it.
Well, Einstein had dementia on top of his very little brain, and so he wandered away. So I had bleached my hair. So my hair was brown when we moved in, and it was white when I was out looking for Einstein. And said neighbor, was out in his yard, and I told him I lost my dog and what the dog looked like and blah, blah, blah. And he said, "Well, I hope your dog doesn't go down on that property from those awful California people." And he starts talking smack about us, not knowing that he was talking to me.
you. Oh, boy. What else did he
It was-
say about you?
I was myself undercover.
What else did he say about you?
He called us libtards. And I'm like, if you don't like them, how do you know all this stuff?
Rush Limbaugh. That's how.
Exactly.
That's how he is.
Exactly. But yes, it was crazy. And Frankie always waves at him. Always. Anytime he's like driving down the road, you know, they pass each other
Yep.
or they see each other. Even I, every now and then, see him at the grocery store and we hide. But Frankie's just like, "Hello, neighbor," you know. He just, so, yeah, it's my long-haired hippie husband. But it was so funny that this guy didn't recognize me because I dyed my hair, and then
You could
talked
hear
smack
all.
about
you
me
could
to my
hear
face.
everything about. If you're wondering what he says about you behind your back, now you know.
Yeah,
You know,
now
those
I
are the
know.
kind of see. This is what's wrong with me. When I meet those people, I imagine that someday something terrible will happen, and I'll have a chance to prove that I'm really a good person, even though,
Not me.
yeah, no.
No, I look forward to the day of being a bad person and going, karma.
Well, there
What
you
goes
have
around
it.
comes around.
Well, we're not the same person for sure. We're not.
No, we're not.
Thanks for listening to the Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. And if you've made it this far, we're guessing you liked it. So please recommend it to your friends and check out my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. You can get it at your neighborhood independent bookstore or that website that sells everything.